is New South Wales History Week, and so I thought the book that I could read you today would be one that takes us back in time. It's a very loved book of mine, and I hope you will enjoy it too. Now, whenever I read this book to students, usually in a class setting, I always warn them that there are pictures of people with no clothes on in this book. And that's because these people didn't wear clothes at this time. It's perfectly normal. We don't need to be silly about it. It's just how it was. Okay? So it's called You and Me Murrawee. It's by Kerry Hashmi and Felicity Marshall. We walk this same brown earth, you and me, Murrawee. Past the ancient granite rocks, we run down the slope to the river, hearts beating in time. I follow your bare footsteps. We move the same dust and bend the same grass in our stride. The water is sparkling in the sun, and it calls us near. You've made a mudslide down the bank. You sit on it and squeal as you slip with the other children into the cold, clear water. Your uncle is fishing upstream, and he warns you not to frighten the fish. Oh, it's beautiful, Kookaburra. Kookaburra woke me up yesterday. It's a nice way to wake up. I give the slippery dip a miss, take my shoes off and paddle near the edge. The mud is squidgy between my toes. My father calls to me to watch out for broken glass. There's a little turtle, all kinds of creatures in the water. We each pick up a stick and draw pictures in the same patch of river sand, you and me, Murrawee. You draw a kangaroo. Mine is meant to be a horse. We walk along the riverbank, balance our way over the rocks, and scratch at the lichen. I follow the footprints of someone's dog. You think you've seen wallaby spoor. There's a blue-tongued lizard down here too. Our fathers are going out in their boats. They leave from the same little launching bay where the riverbank is low. My father has a rowboat. He's teaching my brother how to handle the oars. The oars are the things you paddle the boat with. Your father has a canoe. He's taking your brother to show him how to trap fish. We both watch them from the same spot on the shore, in the shade of the old river red gum. We can see the scars on it where your father cut his canoe. You can see there, that's where the canoe was cut from. The ducks on the river expect food from campers. They swim up to me and I throw them some bread. You know where their nest is. You swim across into the reeds to collect some eggs, which you give to your mother. She passes you her digging stick and asks you to gather some of the reed roots too. She'll cook them all tonight. We climb up the path above the river, you and me, Murrawee. The magpies are nesting too. They swoop on us and we both run, ducking. The river water you were carrying splashes from your coolamon. This is the coolamon here, which used to be used to carry water, and still is. A cool breeze is picking up and it blows our hair in our faces. It brings the scent of food and the smoke of campfires. Our tummies rumble. I can smell sausages and onions frying. For you, the fish, the eggs and roots are baking. We share food with our families. The ants clean the crumbs and take them back to their nest, as they have always done. As we nestle in by the campfires in the dark, your grandmother takes you into her arms and tells you the old, old stories of the river, its creation, its floods and its droughts. I strain to hear her stories, but they are lost in the winds of time. Instead, I listen with my family to songs on the radio, sung by people who have never seen this river. We lie down in the same hollow in the sand, you and me, Murrawee. The night is cool. You lie between two fires, and I snuggle into my sleeping bag. You hear the bunyip calling from the river. The people in the next tent keep me awake for a while. The moon shines on both our faces. We sleep under the same stars, unchanged yet ever-changing, which spark like campfires in the sky. We breathe the same air, you and me, Murrawee, but we will never meet, for we live 200 years apart. I just wanted to tell you, it says at the back here, it's got a bit of information. Murrawee means elder sister in the language of the Nurrawee people from the Murray River in South Australia. I really love that story, and it always makes me wonder and think and be inspired when I heard that line about the same moon shines on both our faces. Even though these girls are living 200 years apart, it's the same moon. And it's interesting in the story how the girls are living almost identical lives. They do things a bit differently, but in the end, they're actually very similar. Even in the great distance of time that they are and that they have and the culture, really, we're all very similar in the end. My question for you today, based on this book and keeping in mind that it's New South Wales History Week, is, do you think it's important for us to learn the history of the place that we live in? I think in that book that the girl was, she had lying next to her at the end, she was reading about the girl Murrawee and learning about the history of the place. Do you think it's important for us to learn about the history of where we live? I want you to tell me why or why not. So when I talk about the history of the place we live, I mean things that have happened, what the people were like, how they lived their lives, how they dressed, what they ate, all of these significant things. What was life like basically in the past? And then you can tell me if you think it's important for us to learn about that and why or why not. Alright, I look forward to your answers on Seesaw. I will pop the question up on Seesaw in a much more succinct and simple way. Alright, bye!